Okay, so friendly travel tip. If you're going to LA, stay in Orange County. Don't go to LA. Boo, LA. Remember that, kids. Hey, what's up, YouTube, and welcome to another Guild Ball Match Report. Today we have a special guest, Michael from up north. Michael came down this weekend, played some Guild Ball with us, had some misadventures with him over in LA. Hope you're doing well, buddy. But yeah, we got to play some Guild Ball, super fun time, and let's get into this game. So Michael's taking Honor, Marbles, Vet Harmony, Chisel, Mallet, and Flint. Meanwhile, I'm taking the new improved Midas, Nausea, Mercury, Vet Calculus, the very improved Vet Catalyst, and Crucible. So a lot of improved models on both teams here. This is my first game playing against Michael, and this is really his first experience against Midas. So you can see the kickoff going there towards the middle of the field. Midas is kicking. For the Masons 2-2 plan, target priority is going to be very important here. Keeping up momentum, not only to deal with conditions, but to win turn. And 3, dominating activation with the now cheaper superior strategy. The Masons have the ability to control activation dominance, and that's important. For the Alchemists, we're also playing a 2-2 game. One, we want to limit engagement, not getting too involved in the scrum to a limited degree. The VCAT takeouts are going to be critical here with him on the team, and I've got to play opportunistic with goals. When goals present themselves, I need to take them because the Masons are just going to keep me in the middle and grind it out. So very, very interesting game there. You can see the kick by Midas scattered really nicely along the sideline there. Can't really ask for a better kick than that. And here comes the influence allocation by Michael. You can see a lot on Flint on the first turn. So I'm expecting a first turn goal. For me, my goals are going to be very different now with VCAT on the team, and especially with kicking over. So let's speed it up. Enough of the blah blah, and here we go. So after some influence allocation there, it looks like, well, first we've got to talk things through. I'm putting 5 on the captain. We both have 5 on our captains, and then playing a pretty spread out game. V Calculus back in the lineup. If I'm being honest with you, the only reason why I took her is I couldn't find my regular Calculus card, so she got the nod. But she turns out to be a really good pick into this match. It looks like we're going to go forward with Mallet and just and turn there. Really, I think he underestimated my ability to want the ball, well, desire for the ball, and to get it back. So having the ball first turn is great for me, especially since I'm going to get the ball and last activation. So Midas is going to go over there. He'll sprint to the ball. He'll, where'd they go back? And then he is going to kick the ball. Well, first he's going to, looks like he does Lure of Gold on V Calculus, picks up the ball, and then kicks it back. This is super nice for Midas to be able to do that and pull a player forward and kick the ball into the backfield, where it's going to be safe for a couple of activations. I think VCAT is the one actually holding the ball here. Looks like we get a sprint upfield with Chisel there, taking cover. So nice central position. Michael looking to play a little aggressive. And this is interesting because a lot of players, when they see Midas, it's one of the mistakes is, oh, he's playing 3-0. I can get a little aggressive here. I'm just doing some setup here. Now that I don't have OCAT in the lineup, Mercury's just going to lob that Fire Blast right there. This is an option play, really, to see if I need it. I can have VCAT, who has no influence on him, run over to that ring, pick up some burning, and power somebody else's play. We may see that later in the turn. Meanwhile, it looks like we've got Harmony doing some work here. Actually, sorry, it's going to be Honor who does quick time on Harmony, and Honor's going to get up the board. And I believe she does superior strategy on Chisel, which I think, I'm not really sure why that was a thing. Maybe, well, I think we'll see what happens later. I do actually jog up to the burning, so only 4-inch jog with VCAT because of the burning, and just pick it up. Here comes Flint. He's measuring. Does he have any play here to Midas? And he does. So he is going to, where'd they go? Into Midas. I think he does maybe 1 or 2 non-momentous damage and then a push dodge. Trying to get Midas closer to the beat pack there. I think he's considering Midas to be a significant threat in this game. I'm trying to figure out if Naja can go in between the two models, and it looks like I messed up that placement there with Mercury. So Naja is going to come around to there, and I think just does an attack on Flint, and I think get some poison down, and I think I get a little bit greedy here, pull it and do a little bit more damage with the poison. So really nice economy with VCAT there, and going to start the party there on Flint. So it looks like Marbles is going to go. I think this is a little bit of a late activation, but it's actually kind of a cool play that he has here. He sprints Marbles up to the middle of the board, and he's just waiting to see what I do with the ball. Crucible's going to go ahead and pass that ball over to V-Calculus, who is going to dodge up, and then Crucible is going to jog and spend her last influence to Acrobatic towards the cover there. And finally, we have Vet Harmony, who's going to go into Crucible, and I think she is going to do a couple of attacks, couple of momentous damage. So starting the party on Crucible there, who is going to be another key threat deep striker for me. That said, not a lot of momentum generation on the Mason side for the influence that they have out there. I'm looking at whether or not what my goal run is going to look like with Vet Calc. And this takes a lot of time here. Like, what is the best option here? I'm going to measure this out a couple of different ways. Really, the goal here is I would love to be able to pull the burning off of VCAT, get the dodge, and then do something there. So we measure it one way, and I think we measure it a couple of different ways. And I can't really get past that Mason Scrum. So you can see he did a great job sort of blockading this whole thing here. So I take a move with VCalc and totally forget that Brick now has countercharge built in. Brick goes ahead and does some damage and tackles the ball off VCalculus. VCalculus is going to spend 1 influence to tackle the ball back. And then with the better position, now she can actually pull the burning off of VCat and dodge right around Chisel. She'll have to take the shot at a penalty. So we're measuring, it looks like she actually, I cut that angle in a little bit closer because I want to get spillage. So I get spillage on like 4 players, which is amazing, but I missed the goal. And the goal scatters wide. Now, normally I would be upset about this, but this is actually a really decent thing happening here because the ball scatters wide of the goal, and Michael doesn't have the kind of speed to get to that ball. I can get to the ball. It's a matter of keeping V-Calculus alive long enough to do so. But anyways, the turn is going to end there. There's some poison taken off, but I have more momentum. Momentum was generated a couple of different ways. The Sneck did a great job generating some momentum, and I believe I got a little bit of momentum out of, I want to say, like a Midas pass earlier and something like that. So I have a slight momentum lead. I'm going to go ahead and I believe we're going to get an activation by V-Catalyst here going into Flint, who is poisoned, if you recall from the first round. But he also has I believe, Honor and Marbles in this range. And so Flint took quite a bit. He's going to take a huge beating here. Flint's going to get taken out, and all this splash damage is happening to the monkey and to Honor, but he's keep pushing the monkey damage over to Vet Harmony, and this is to keep the monkey alive long enough so that he can assist Honor. And that's a very, very scary thing. However, the damage is done here. I have a takeout. I'm next to a couple of other takeouts, and I have a huge momentum lead because of Witness Me. So you got to play VCAT that way. You keep them out of trouble long enough for conditions to arise. And once the conditions are set up, you want to have at least two, preferably 3 or even 4 players in your range. Use your high tack to just splash damage all over the place and hopefully try to score out a takeout at the same time. So that was like a really nice perfect storm of events. Honor's going to go, I believe, and she is going to try to wreck Vet Calculus here. I don't know if I agree with this move because I understand he's trying to block a goal, but I don't know. I think with the monkey there, it's just too nice to not pass off. Maybe taking out VCat with a legendary. So he does end up legendarying. He does a ton of damage to Vet Calculus. He leaves her on, I think, like 5 or 6. So she's hurting pretty bad after this. And she heals herself back up. Okay, so I'm thinking, this Honor activation is still gone. I'm thinking I've got plenty of conditions to bull here. And if he wants to put pressure on me to goal, I might as well goal, frankly, because that Flint is out of the game, and that puts the influence pressure on the rest of his team to do something with the ball, or he could try to kill it off towards the side of the screen. Also, I'm also okay with that outcome because I feel like I've got a good momentum lead. I have 6 points on the board, and things are going to be great. So, Vet Calc picking up the pieces from last turn, pulls a poison, dodges up, kicks a tap-in goal, putting the Alchemist up 6-0. So this is really where the ball should be killed, in my opinion. I understand Michael wants to stay playing aggressive here, but the ball is going to go... He's going to put the ball in a pretty good space, but a horrible scatter. Ball's going to scatter up and towards the thick of where my other threats are, Midas, Mercury, and the Sneck there. So he's going to go in, it looks like, with Mallet. And Mallet's going to try to trigger some unpredictable movements, but I don't care. I mean, I don't see this as necessarily being a bad thing. I want to stay in attack range. So Mallet's going to pick up the ball. He is going to smash shins on Midas, which kind of sucks. And then he's going to do some damage to Midas. He actually does a pretty decent amount of work to Midas here. And this makes me a little bit nervous, but except that Midas really only has 2 influence. The main thing I'm trying to do here is I'm getting a little greedy. I want that 2 influence really just to generate a little bit of momentum and get me a late turn legendary. That's really what I'm hoping for. Would love to have a 3 damage tick on most, if not all, of the team that's left on the board here. That's just going to help take out pressure quite a bit. So Mallet does some damage to Midas, passes the ball over to O'Chisel. And here is the issue with Masons. They're very susceptible to ranged character plays. And I've got a Crucible loaded up there, and I have some condition on the board. So Crucible is going to jog around to Harmony and Honor. She'll acrobatic out. She'll pull a condition to get Great Balls of Fire, only needing a 3. Pulls Great Balls of Fire, kicks another goal. That is terrifying, right? A lot of players, if you're brand new to playing against Alchemists, Crucible's sudden goal threat is very jarring, and if you're not prepared for it, she will just come around there and take the goal. Ball scatter is going to go down the other side this time. It looks like Michael is interested in having some harmony play or a harmony option there, and it's just a better side of the field because those players have activated. The damage is done, unfortunately, but the ball is relatively safe over there, and I'm no longer interested in getting the ball. I'm trying to figure out who is the best takeout target between O'Chisel and Vet Harmony. So more work here on Midas. I think this is O'Chisel now, and gets Midas all the way down to like 2 health or something like that at the end of this. This is pretty scary stuff. But that said, this is one of those games where kind of playing through, Midas doesn't have a gigantic role here outside of his first turn lure. He could play an option goal here, but I don't see it. I have 2 goals already with the other striker core, so we're doing okay. Midas is going to go. He is going to, I believe he's just going to go ahead and legendary, even though Vet Harmony hasn't gone. This still gives me option play, so I'll go ahead and legendary. And that gets everybody. That gets absolutely everybody left on the board, putting pressure on Harmony to clear all those conditions. Then I'm going to do a little bit of work on Chisel. And I don't... this isn't even as important as just sort of getting some reposition, using Lure of Gold to get Mercury into position to do some damage, and then spending that momentum to heal Midas a little bit. So Midas is now at 6 health, if I recall. Michael's trying to figure out what to do with Vet Harmony. Now, he could have had a goal run here. Unfortunately, Vet Harmony is on Poison and Fire, so that -2 to movement is pretty brutal. We're going to measure this out a few times and see if there is a goal in the works. So some discussion going on here. So far, this is kind of how I called the change to Midas and VCAT. A lot of the internet got mad at me when Season 4 came out, and I said, no, Midas didn't get buffed, he got nerfed. Everyone got mad, no, he's better. And then a month later, no, he needs to be improved, he's not good. So then they improved him in the errata, and I said, nope, still not there, guys. He's still not good enough. No, you're just a downer. And the same cycle. And third time around, now I'm saying, yeah, he's still not there. But the part that I left out is, yeah, Midas, I don't feel like he's still quite there compared to the other striker captains. But VCAT has really opened up a new avenue of attack and so forth. Anyways, I'm talking over Vet Harmony, who is putting in some work, or he's trying to figure out if she wants to go for the goal, or if, which is not in the works, because he doesn't have momentum to clear the burning. He has 1 momentum, but he's within 4 inches of Crucible, and that is just so brutal to have to pay that tax. He does not have enough momentum to do both, so he is going to commit to clearing conditions, which is the much wiser choice at this point. The ball is going to be safe there at least for a turn. It's a shame he couldn't get on the board with that, but the Midas Legendary and heal himself was pretty clutch there. So yes, internet. Midas still isn't quite there. He's in a lot better shape, don't get me wrong, but I think he needs showboating, or I think he needs something very, very small to put him to where I think he should be as a striker captain. Anyways, this looks like a ton of damage going into Vet Cat. And the other thing that's interesting about Vet Cat is you have all these players land into Vet Cat this turn. So he is a momentum liability, but he's causing damage to them at the end of their activations, which, if you saw that splash that was happening earlier, that can be very significant. So yes, he's going to whittle Vet Cat all the way down from 24 health to 2 health. spending a bunch of activations and gaining a ton of momentum doing this. But he's going to take the damage back. That, like I said, though, the damage is done. Vet Cat did Vet Cat things. I'm going to sneak around the corner here with Nausea. Just always so good at putting in work for me. And I'm going to do an attack on Chisel. Land a 2 damage poison. And then I get a little greedy here and try it again. Pull the poison off. Unfortunately, I miss on the second attack. So I'm losing the momentum race here, and I don't really have conditions out, but things look really good overall, right? There are a number of players here low on health. The ball is still in play, which I expected it not to be at this point. 2 goals like really quick like that, the ball is generally not in play. So we're looking at the 3rd turn here. Michael's going to go ahead and win 3rd turn. And he's got Flint coming back in. So we'll see how that goes. He played a seize the initiative there, so he's going to dodge forward with honor. I'm going to dodge backwards with Midas. And this is to sort of play, so I have ball option play if I need it. Midas can distribute the ball if he needs to. It also means if Michael wants to finish the work on Midas, he's going to have to commit some resource to it. So here we go with the influence going down. Super entertaining game, by the way. And Honor looks great. I got a chance to play her afterwards, and I feel like she's in a pretty good spot, all things considered. Masons have 3 really, really good captains now. And so, maybe I'll record a Masons game at some point. There's Michael measuring out that Flint goal, which it looks like he just about has. I don't think he needs much else, but he has no momentum. So he's going to start with Chisel, which is the wise choice, and just wipe VCat right off the map. So there goes VCat. Mason's on the board with 2, and Chisel, I believe, is going to spend some attacks going into Mercury there. So starting some of the work on Mercury. So with Masons, it's slow and steady damage and gaining momentum at the same time. But my early play was so disruptive that it's just going to be a gigantic climb back for the Masons here. We've got some more crowd outs. We're drawing Mercury into the brawl pound there. But I have a momentum, and the ball is, as you can see, about 6 inches away from Crucible. So I'm thinking about, I do a little bit of messing around with Midas. Should I try for that takeout? Chisel has a little too much on her, and importantly, she's 3/3 armor right now, which I don't want to deal with. So Crucible, going to acrobatics out of combat. She is going to sprint. So sprint, pick up the ball, come back, get within 8. And that's going to do it. Great game, super fun. But yeah, too much movement around the ball, and I was able to play this disruptively out of the gate. So that is going to do it for this video. I want to thank everyone for watching. Have a good one, guys, and we will see you on the next one.